Hi, I'm Ju Kwang from Golf Digest Singapore, and here we are with Michael Campbell, 2005 US Open champion. Welcome to Singapore, Michael, again.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending your time with us. The US Open in Pinehurst this week. It was a memorable time for you back in 2005. Perhaps you'd like to take us down memory lane a little bit to talk a little bit about your experience that year when you won the US Open.
Well, let me go back in time here. In January 2005, I played on the European Tour and missed 5 cuts in a row.
Okay.
I was playing terribly. And so I decided to pack my bags and go to see my coach for a month,
Okay.
Jonathan Yarwood, and worked on my game, my putting, chipping, every aspect of my game.
Okay.
And found a certain key in my swing, which just felt really nice, pretty good. And then from then on, from March onwards, I pretty much played quite nicely.
Okay.
So it gave me a bit of confidence. Finished top 10 about 4 or 5 times. So everything was coming together quite nicely. And then for the first time ever, the USGA had qualifying outside America. Normally you have to go to America to qualify, second stage and final stage, but in this case they had introduced a new policy where they wanted to have more of a global qualifying event, so I managed to go there and qualify just on the number. I think 10 guys got through. I was like 9th or 10th. So I managed to qualify, and then I went to Pinehurst, and once again I was feeling pretty confident. You know, I think in anything in life it's all about confidence and momentum. I had both of those at the same time going into Pinehurst, but my putting was terrible, shocking, to the point where I was using a belly putter the Monday of Pinehurst.
Okay.
Yeah, and because I was desperate. I was playing great and the ball great, but my putting was just diabolical. So we decided to go somewhere else to putt for 2 or 3 hours. We went down the road 20 minutes away from Pinehurst itself, and we putted for 2 or 3 hours. We got away from the circus of a major, and we had a nice, good quality time together, myself and my coach. And then I got my putting together. So I think the combination of hitting the ball great, putting great, feeling confident, you know, equates to a good performance.
Okay.
And that week, obviously, I managed to win it, so it was good fun.
Okay, fantastic. Final round on the 2005 US Open, you were playing very well, very steadily. But there's a guy behind you that was charging and making a move as he typically does, Tiger Woods himself. What did it feel like? Did you know he was playing well that day? I mean,
yeah, well,
what was going through your mind?
I'm a player that watches the leaderboard. So every 3 holes is a leaderboard, right? So I knew my position, where I was. I knew where Tiger was charging from. He was 2 shots behind me, 1 shot behind me, all the way for the last 9 holes. But I saw that as an opportunity, really, not as a threat. A lot of golfers I've seen in the past crumble, but I thought this is going to be fun. So I changed it around mentally for me. That's one thing that really stood out the last 9 holes, is that it's my time to shine, it's my time to have some fun with this, and I know it's the toughest test in golf, you know, last round of a major, 9 holes to play against the best player in the world, so it's quite daunting if you think about it on paper, yeah. But it's only on paper, you know, you've got to change it around mentally, and that's what I did. I just said to myself, okay, wouldn't it be good to win this US Open knowing that Tiger was chasing me down? I mean, that combination to me is definitely something, you know, pretty exciting.
Okay. Even before 2005, did you feel that you had a major in you, you had a major win in you, that you were possible of winning one of the 4 majors in golf?
Secretly, yes. I think everyone who plays this sport professionally, their main goal is to win a major. And I remember when I was 12 years old, 13 years old, pretending to win a major, holding that putt for major championship. So it's always been my desire, my dream to win a major. So when it came to fruition, it was like, hey, this is quite normal. I never thought I'd win the US Open. I thought I'd probably have more of a chance at an Open, okay, or British Open. Okay. So this is a nice surprise for me.
Fantastic. In an interview after the tournament, you said that all you had in your mind was keep your focus, keep your focus. Did you have any particular keys or method throughout the final round that you used to keep your focus?
It's a bit of a secret though, I can't really tell you. No, just kidding. Yeah, look, the thing is that obviously I've been trained by psychologists, sports psychologists over the years, so all my tools, I use every single tool in my toolbox to help me be in the present time. I think just the basic thing about breathing, if you just breathe in and out a certain particular rhythm, makes you calm down. So breathing is a big issue. One of the big things I did during the last 9 holes, and also I call it locationals. Locationals is basically look around and notice things around you, like the bird in the tree or someone wearing a red hat. That brings you down to the now, where you are. It brings you in the present time, and that's a very powerful thing because as I say, being in the present time is the most important thing, and so I use locationals as well to help me to be in the present time.
Okay. So all this talk about sports psychologists and it takes a team to build a champion kind of makes sense.
Very true. You can't do it by yourself. It's too hard. You've got to have a good team around you, a psychologist, a good coach, head coach.
Fitness guy,
physio. I was going to the gym twice a day.
Okay.
So it's a combination. All we do, obviously out there you go and play golf, but what you do behind the scenes is a lot more than what you see on the golf course.
Okay, fantastic. Talk to us a little bit about Pinehurst. What type of golf course is number 2? Is it difficult? Is it difficult because they set it up difficult? Your impressions of the golf course and how the players this week will be tested.
Well, obviously it's completely changed back to the original layout, so I can't really comment about this year, but in 2005 it's not a long golf course. It's short in the terms of a new US Open or a major, but what's particularly tough about Pinehurst is the greens. The greens are so tiny, so small, so you've got to have your iron play really on song, I think, to have a chance to win that week. And I believe the greens haven't changed, but there's no rough now. It's basically a wasteland. When we played in 2005, it's your typical US Open setup where you hit off the fairway by a foot and you can't hardly find your ball. It just sinks right down to the bottom. And I was lucky enough to actually hit the ball quite well that week and hit average 10 out of 14 fairways, so that helps a lot. And my iron play was pretty dialed in too. So
I guess with the small green, iron play really comes into a factor.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I had an average on par 4 7 irons. So what I did that week, I just practiced my 7 irons.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
on the driving range.
Interesting.
What I did as preparation for my build up to Pinehurst, after 3-4 practice rounds, I got an average of what irons I hit to par 4s and stuff like that, and par 3s. And it was a 7 iron. So I decided to work on the 5, 6 and 7 iron during that week, so that definitely helped.
Winning a major, how did that change your career? How did it change your perspective of playing golf tournaments after that?
Look, I think it's got pros and cons. I mean, obviously to win a major is fantastic. The expectations from your peers, from other guys you play with now are different. The fans, my family, everything changes completely around you. That's something you can't control. I got busy off the golf course with other things, with charity work and sponsor days. So it was a very busy time for me, especially for 3 or 4 years there. It was a very busy time, and it got me away from doing what I'm doing, is playing golf and practicing. I spent more time off the golf course than on the golf course. So it was my mistake. I take full responsibility of that, and unfortunately my game suffered a little bit. And you see that, I think, in a lot of golfers who win majors, that there's a little dip.
Yeah.
Because obviously, after a high, you've got to be a low. And that's where I really admire Tiger a lot, because he comes back very strongly every week. That's just a freakish nature.
Yeah. This week's tournament, this year's 2014 US Open, any particular players that you have your eye on that you expect to do well?
Well, if you think about it, 2 months ago Bubba won his second major, so I like to see him do well again. He's obviously brimming with confidence. He knows how to win majors, he knows how to close a deal. after his first win in the playoff, then obviously 2 months ago. I like the look of Jordan Spieth. You know, Jordan Spieth is he's got no fear. This kid, he's only 21 years old, and he's playing some great golf. And he's proven in the past, especially 2 months ago, that he's up there with the big guns now. And then Rory McIlroy, he just won recently back in England there. He's showing some form. And then, you know, you've got defending champion Justin Rose. Justin obviously winning last year at Marion. And it's hard to defend your title. It's actually harder than actually winning it, defending your title. So the thing is, there's a bunch of guys out there right now who are playing some great golf. So it's hard to choose which person who's going to win. So we'll see.
You're obviously commentating on Fox Sports now. That's a new thing in your life. How do you view? Is it more difficult to be in front of a camera than in front of like thousands of people playing golf?
You know what? It's a very good question. I prefer playing than watching my friends, my very close friends playing. I get so critical in my mind. You know, what are you doing? Sort of thing. But yeah, it's difficult. But it's a new page in my life. You know, I'm not done playing yet. Unfortunately, due to circumstances, I'm not prepared to play. My preparation isn't there to play a major championship, especially at Pinehurst, so I decided not to play. Wish I was there, of course, to go back and go down memory lane. But just right now, I'm just going to enjoy watching the boys suffer. And not suffer, but you know what I mean. And just see what happens from there. So.
Okay. 2005 US Open winner. That's something no one can ever take away from you. How do you feel about that as a New Zealander, as a golfer, as a person?
Well, I think my victory really inspired a lot of kids back home to play golf. Obviously, golf is, I think, the 5th or 6th most played sport in New Zealand. Got rugby, of course, is their main sport, rugby league, yachting now as well. So we're competing against some high-profile sports. So it's good to expose the game to the young generation of New Zealanders, and that's why I've been home for 10 days after my victory, just to share my success with all fellow Kiwis.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time once again, Michael.
Pleasure.
All the best.
Thank you.
I'm Ju Kwang from Golf Digest Singapore.